Good morning, racing fans. Here on this Saturday, June 26, 2021, it's Stephen F. Foster Day at Churchill Downs, and I have an early pick five for you, as well as a late pick five, but that's going to be on a different episode. I'm going to do it later. I'm getting a late start this morning because even though I handicapped the night before, I have to kind of wait until the scratches come out because a lot of times, actually all the time, that the scratches come out is going to figure in my play and how much I'm going to play and the horses I'm going to play and whatnot. So anyway, I got the scratches, and like I say, it's an hour before post time. Let's see if I can rush this in for the early pick five. The late pick five, I'm going to have more time. I'm going to do that right after I do this particular episode. So anyway, welcome to Thoroughbred Ticket. I'm your host, Kenneth Moultrie, and let's get started.
Welcome to Thoroughbred Ticket. We're playing the exotics like trifectas, superfectas. The pick 3, 4, 5, and 6 will become that much easier. Rushing to handicap multiple races? Well, your host will save you a bundle of time. And now here he is, the self-proclaimed expert handicapper, Mr. Kenneth Moultrie.
Hello, race fans. Welcome to Thoroughbred Ticket. This is your host, Kenneth Moultrie. And as I said in my opening, I have an early pick five for you. Sorry I don't have the particulars of the, bells and whistles going through, my podcast and what it's all about. When I first started, I wanted to do this every weekend, but I've found that I don't like to handicap or even bet myself on days that turn out to be sloppy. And as you know, on the East Coast, Saratoga, Belmont, Churchill, even Gulfstream a lot, you have to kind of wait if you are a player of fast and firm like I am. I don't like the handicap. Fields are decimated too much and, too many changes and whatnot. So I try to see and I try to bet on days where it looks like, and I'm kind of confident it's going to be fast and firm. And today at Churchill on Stephen F. Foster Day, it looks like it's going to be fast and firm, and that is good. So I'm all in, feet first, and here I go for a early pick five that is going to be worth $72. And let me run this off to you because, like I said in my opening, there's about an hour or maybe even less than an hour until post time. So the first race, we're going 6.5 on the main track, purse 100,000, straight maiden event. And it's for 3-year-olds and up. 9 are scheduled. There is a scratch, the 6 Engrave, a horse I was probably going to use. Actually, I was going to use. That horse was getting blinkers, and he was coming off a layoff. And I figured that he was going to be part of the pace, which figures into a lot of things. And that's why I like to wait until the scratches are done, because ideally I would like to do them the night before. But like I said, unless you're at Del Mar, Santa Anita, you really can't, count on what you see in the form. The horses that are laid out is going to run like that. So anyway, 3 horses I like here in the first. I like the 1 Partner's Hope. This is a Kenny McPeek runner, and Robbie Alvarado is going to ride. Now, Robbie, Robbie has not been the same a lot the last maybe 4, 5, 6 years. And, I really used to like Robbie Alvarado, and I kind of cringe a lot of times when I see him riding on a horse that I like. And a lot of times if I'm playing, multi-race exotics like I do most times, if I see him on a horse and I like, and I like another horse in the race, I'm going to throw an extra horse in there just because, like I said, I'm really not confident with his riding. This horse has the real, but once again, I do bet horses first. I do look at horses first, and then I handicap backwards. But anyway, the number 1 horse, Partner's Hope, is been off since January at Gulfstream, and this 3-year-old more than ready colt. He has some good Churchill work since his last, a 36, a 35, and a 47 breezing. And I think he's coming into the race real well. He's going to have to try to navigate. Robbie is a trip from the rail. Does not have a lot of early speed, but I do like the style. And I think that, there's, like I said, I thought Engrave was going to be in the race, so I thought the pace was going to be a little hotter or a little more hot. So now like I said, since Engrave is out, I'm still going to keep Partners Hope, and I'm just going to hope that Robbie can manufacture, like I said, a trip from down inside. I'm also going to use the four horse Cool Quest. This is a frosted coat. Now, I'm a little quirky about this. I've said this before in my previous episodes, and I've gotten some feedback from people to say, like, if a sire is a sire, and it doesn't matter what color the horse is. Now, this is a bay coat, and as you know, frosted is by Tappet, and frosted was gray, Tappet was gray. And I always kind of say that if the horse, the runner, is not the same color as the sire, I kind of like say, well, maybe he has a little bit more of the mom in the runner, and not so much of the sire, and in this case, frosted. But nevertheless, sometimes I do buck my own trends, but very, very, very. It's not often that I do. It just depends on the other runners in the race. So anyway, this is a Brian Lynch trained coat. Has some good Churchill works. First time starter. Drayton Van Dyke is picking up his business ever since he came east from California. Gary Stevens is his agent, and Drayton for a long time has been known as a turf rider. And I think he wants to try to change that reputation. As you know, turf racing is a lot more prevalent back east than it is out on the West Coast. And I think he made a good move coming back east. He's just going to have to, get entrenched with, trainers and whatnot. And, Gary is very, very popular. And I'm quite sure that once he gets rolling, he'll get into it. So he has a couple of live mounts today. So I do like this one, number 4, Cool Quest, the 3-year-old colt by Frosted. Brian Lynch is 14% first time. He's getting LASIK for the first time as well. Draws a pretty cozy position of 4-hole. We'll see how he comes out of the gate. Got a 59 breezing at Churchill. I'm a big fan, a big proponent of works on the track that the race is being run at. I'm not a fan of track works for like Keeneland in this case, and they're not at Keeneland. So a lot of people don't care that much. Like I said, that's not an end all for me, but it's just a handicapping factor that I'll use. So if these works were at Keeneland, I probably would go elsewhere, but they are at Churchill, and I do like the 4-horse Cool Quest. As well as the outside horse Roboman. Roboman is trained by Wayne Catalano and going to be ridden by Mitchell Murrow. Now, this gelding is stepping up. Debuted here at Churchill in a maiden claiming $30,000. Got a 75 buyer. The winner of that race, Flags Up, came back to win. So obviously it was a very strong race. Now, a lot of people will look at this particular move, this particular class rise, and they'll look at it in the reverse. They'll say, well, the biggest drop in horse racing is from straight maiden into a claiming, especially a lower level claiming. So then obviously maybe the higher level or the biggest rise in horse racing is from a maiden claiming into a straight maiden. And that's what this 10 Roboman is doing. However, the gelding has a good 47 breezing Churchill work on June 14th. And like I said, that winner, Flags Up, that particular race came back and won again. So I'm looking, he has very good speed. Like I say, from the outside post, I think he is going to be on the heels of the 9-horse Raccarino. So Roboman is a play for me today in today's first at Churchill. So the horses I'm using, the 1-horse Partners Hope, the 4 Cool Quest, and the 10 Roboman. Race 2 at Churchill is 6 furlongs, another straight maiden affair, purse $100,000. 2-year-olds, they're going to go, like I said, 6 furlong. 12 are signed up. We have a scratch here, a couple of scratches actually. The number 7, Eli, is scratched. The 13, Attaboy Anthony, is scratched. The 14, Iconic Legacy, will run. And then number 15, Buckingham Prince, and the 16, Martini and Moonshine, are scratched. So let me go over that again. The 7, Eli, is scratched. The 13, Attaboy Anthony. The 15, Buckingham Prince, and the 16, Martini and Moonshine, are out. The 14, Iconic Legacy, will run. Once again, like I say, this is for 2-year-olds, 6 furlongs. I'm going to start with the 2-horse Rattle and Roll. Kenny McPeak, this is one of two runners for him. Brian Hernandez will ride this first time starter by Connect, the Curlin Stallion. So all Churchill works. Very, very good. I would have liked to see some 5 furlongs works in this particular horse. I'd like to see 5 and 6 furlong gate works for a first time starter. I don't see them. This is why I do like the colt, but I'm going to use others in here as well. But I do like the work pattern. All Churchill works 4 furlongs, very, very steady. Nice post position on the outside of the one horse Gunnet, who I'm not going to use. I don't like Gunnet today. I don't like him down on that rail with no speed. And I do think the first time starter Rattle and Roll will outbreak Gunnet or Gunite. And so that's why I'm using the 2-horse Rattle and Roll. Also, I'm going to use the 9 Rocket 1. It's a 2-year-old colt by Into Mischief. It's a $600,000 Keeneland sale. Ferran Giroux is going to ride for Billy Mott. So, about 3 or 4 years ago, Mott was the type of trainer who you did not use first time out. You always loaded on him second time out, especially if he was going from dirt to turf. These debut runners for him were just basically, an audition. And then, especially these well-bred turf horses, they get on there and they run like crazy. But lately, the last 2 years or so, Mott pop up with you, on a first-time starter, especially, if Junior Alvarado was on the horse or whatnot. But anyway, this is Junior is in New York today. Florent's going to ride. And I think this colt is ready, is primed for a big effort first time out. The works are Mott-like works. They're not fast. They're very, 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 very dawdling. And that's to be expected with a Bill Mott first-timer. He has very, very good turf breeding. So I'm looking at maybe, I may have put my foot in my mouth by saying that, with this turf breeding that this colt has, that this may be an audition and then she's going to just fire on the turf at Saratoga this summer. But I'm looking for Rocket One to run a big race in today's second race. So I'm going to also throw him on my pick 5 ticket. The number 10 horse, another colt I'm going to use is Dowie. Okay, this is going to be tough for me. Like I said, I'm rushing through this, but Dowagiac Chief, a 2-year-old Carol Prince colt trained by Tom Amos and written by James Grant. Now, Tom Amos is doing everything right this particular meet. Very, very good at 32%. Hot. Does have this 2 good 5 furlong works that I like to see in a first-time starter. And, 18% for Tom Amos first time is very decent. And very, very good in sprints, too, at 25%. So, checks pretty much all the boxes here. 8-1 on the morning line. I figure that this colt will be bet down to somewhere around 5-1. No problem with that. That's going to be fine with me. The third of 3 horses I'm using in this race, the 2 Rattle and Roll, the 9 Rocket 1, and the 10 Dowiac. I can't say that name, folks. Dowagiac Chief. Okay. Dowagiac Chief. My San Jose State University education is not helping me today. Anyway, those are the 3 horses I like. I also want to throw in this, and I've said this before, it's my first time listening to one of my podcasts, that when I play pick 4s, when I play pick 5s, I also use those horses in an exacta. So if it's a $2 box, $3 box, sometimes $5 box, depending on how many horses there is, depending on my budget, I will go ahead and box those horses in an exacta as well. And then sometimes underplay my pick 5 with doubles or pick 3s. But I like to give out pick 5s because I just like to stretch the probabilities, instead of giving out a pick 3, I'm trying to do, some more exotics that are, widespread. So that's why I kind of like stick with the pick 5s and sometimes pick 4. So yeah, I'm going to box those 3 in an exacta as well as using them in my second leg of my early pick 5. In race 3, 10 are scheduled. We have, let me see, scratches. The 1 horse Frolic Moore is scratched. The 3 Donnell's Creek is scratched as well. So 2 scratches from the form. 10 are scheduled to run as